AI can write code for you. But can you understand what that code is actually doing? That's exactly why C still matters. C teaches you how computers really think: memory, pointers, logic, data structures, and how software interacts with the hardware. These fundamentals make it much easier to understand other languages, operating system, cybersecurity, and even the code AI generates for you. So, in this AI era, learning C isn't about competing with AI. It's about becoming the person who knows what to ask AI and knows when AI is wrong. In this series, we'll learn C from the ground up, step by step, with practical examples and zero unnecessary complexity. So let's get back to the foundation. Welcome to the C programming. Before we can begin to write serious programs in C, it would be interesting to find out what really is this language, how it came to existence, and how does it compare with other programming languages. In this episode, we would briefly outline these issues. 4 important aspects of any language are the way it stores data, the way it operates upon this data, how it accomplishes input and output, and how it lets you control the sequence of execution of instructions in a program. We would discuss the first 3 of these building blocks in this episode. C is a programming language developed at AT&T's Bell Laboratories of USA in 1972. It was designed and written by Dennis Ritchie. In the late 70s, C began to replace the more familiar languages of that time, like PL, ALGOL. No one pushed C. It wasn't made the official Bell Labs language. Thus, without any advertisement, C's reputation spread and its pool of users grew. Ritchie seems to have been rather surprised that so many programmers preferred C to older languages like Fortran or PL, or the newer ones like Pascal or APL. But that's what happened. Possibly, why C seems so popular is because it is reliable, simple, and easy to use. Moreover, in an industry where newer languages, tools, and technologies emerge and vanish day in and day out, a language that has survived for more than 5 decades has to be really good. An opinion that is often heard today is C has been already superseded by languages like C++, Java, Python. So why bother to learn C today? I seriously beg to differ with this opinion. There are several reasons for this. C++, C#, Java, Python make use of a principle called object-oriented programming to organize the program. This organizing principle has lots of advantages to offer. But even while using this organizing principle, you would still need a good hold over the language elements of C and the basic programming skills. So it makes more sense to first learn C, then migrate to C++ or any other language. Though this 2-step learning process may take more time, but at the end of it, you will definitely find it worth the trouble. Major parts of popular operating systems like Windows, Unix, Linux, and Android are written in C. This is because even today, when it comes to performance, nothing beats C. Moreover, if one is to extend the operating system to work with these new devices, one needs to write device driver programs. These programs are exclusively written in C. Mobile devices like smartphones and tablets have become rage of today. Also, common consumer devices like microwave ovens, washing machines, and digital cameras are getting smarter by the day. This smartness comes from a microprocessor, an operating system, and a program embedded in these devices. These programs not only have to run fast, but also have to work with limited amount of memory. No wonder that such programs are written in C. With these constraints on time and space, C is the language of choice while building such operating systems and programs. You must have seen several computer games where the user navigates some objects, like say a spaceship and fires a bullet at the invaders. The essence of all such game is speed. Needless to say, such games won't become popular if they take a long time to move the spaceship or to fire a bullet. To match the expectations of the player, the game has to react fast to the user inputs. This is where C language scores over other languages. Many popular gaming frameworks like DirectX have been built using C language. At times, one is required to very closely interact with the hardware devices. Since C provides several language elements that make this interaction feasible without compromising the performance, it is the preferred choice of the programmer. I hope that these are very convincing reasons why you should adopt C as the first and a very important step in your quest for learning programming. Communicating with a computer involves speaking a language that computer understands, which immediately rules out English as the language of communication with computer. The classic method of learning English is to first learn the alphabets, then learn to combine these alphabets to form words, which in turn are combined to form sentences, and sentences are combined to form paragraphs. Learning C is similar and easier. Instead of straightaway learning how to write programs, we must first know what alphabets, numbers, and special symbols are used in C. Then, how using them, constants, variables, and keywords are constructed. And finally, how are these combined to form an instruction? A group of instructions would be combined later to form programs. A character denotes any alphabet, digit, or special symbol used to represent information. The alphabets, digits, and special symbols, when properly combined, form constants, variables, and keywords. Let us now understand the meaning of each of them. A constant is an entity that doesn't change, whereas a variable is an entity that may change. A keyword is a word that carries special meaning. In any C program, we typically do lots of calculations. The results of these calculations are stored in computer's memory. Like human memory, the computer's memory also consists of millions of cells. The calculated values are stored in these memory cells. These memory cells, also called memory locations, to make the retrieval and usage of these values easy, these memory cells are given names. Since the values stored in each location may change, the names given to these locations are called variable names. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Consider the memory locations shown in this picture. Here, 3 is stored in a memory location and a name x is given to it. Then we have assigned a new value 5 to the same memory location. This would override the earlier value 3, since a memory location can hold only one value at a time. In programming languages, constants are often called literals, whereas variables are called identifiers. Now that we understand the constants and variables, let us see what different types of constants and variables exist in C. C constants can be divided into two major categories: primary constants and secondary constants. These constants are further categorized as shown in this picture. At this stage, we would restrict our discussion to only primary constants, namely integer, real, and character constants. For constructing these different types of constants, certain rules have been laid down. These rules are: an integer constant must have at least one digit. It must not have a decimal point. It can be either positive or negative. If no sign precedes an integer constant, it is assumed to be positive. No commas or blanks are allowed within an integer constant. Real constants are often called floating point constants. The real constants could be written in two forms: fractional form and exponential form. A real constant must have at least one digit. It must have a decimal point. It could be either positive or negative. Default sign is always positive. no commas or blanks are allowed within a real constant. A character constant is a single alphabet, a single digit, or a single special symbol enclosed within single inverted commas. Both the inverted commas should point to the left. For constructing variable names of all types, the same set of rules applied. A variable name is any combination of alphabets, digits, or underscores. Some compilers allow variable names whose length could be up to 247 characters. Still, it would be safer to stick to the rule of 31 characters. Do not create unnecessary long variable names, as it adds up to your typing effort. The first character in the variable name must be an alphabet or underscore. No commas or blanks are allowed within a variable name. No special symbol other than an underscore can be used in a variable name. Since the maximum allowable length of a variable name is 31 characters, an enormous number of variable names can be constructed. Keywords are the words whose meaning has already been explained to the C compiler. There are only 32 keywords available. This is the list for your ready reference. A detailed discussion of each of these keywords would be taken up later in this series, wherever their use is relevant. The keywords cannot be used as variable names, because if we do so, we are trying to assign a new meaning to the keyword, which is not allowed. Now today, we have learned a little bit of history and some rules on C programming language. If you are serious about learning C programming, you may consider to subscribe to this channel, as we are also learning ethical hacking simultaneously. This is all for today. See you in the next episode.